Okay, everybody on YouTube, now we just started. So, everybody on YouTube, what's going on? Hope you're having an awesome start to your day. Now, I don't really promote this YouTube channel as much yet. So, if you're catching this, you're probably going to catch this later on. I'm doing a podcast today about the healing codes and the immune system. They actually have to do with the same thing. If you've never heard of the healing codes before, I'm very excited to show all of you about it. So that's really cool stuff. And I'm going to go flip on over to Facebook, get me live going there. And then I'm also going to be starting a recording where I'm going to be more or less reading from a Word document that I've decided to write up specifically for this episode. So let's get this rocking and rolling. Okay, everybody on Facebook, what is going on? I am very excited today to bring you guys an awesome episode of Matrix Breakers, and we're going to get really content rich today. It's going to be about the healing codes and the immune system, which, if you know anything, those have to do with one another. If you've never heard of the healing codes before, really stay tuned to this episode. And again, you can always catch any of my episodes when I upload them later on to any podcasting platform. I know that Facebook sometimes can be hit or miss because people don't spend a ton of time watching content on Facebook. So again, I will say this, find the podcast when I upload it to anywhere you enjoy watching podcasts. Now, with the healing codes, if you've never heard of the healing codes, just imagine almost a life hack as to how you can work with the energetic centers in your body to naturally heal. Okay, cost you nothing. Now, then we're also going to talk about the immune system, because how important the immune system is, and it deals with the healing codes, but the immune system as a whole is also a whole nother thing that we are going to address today. So really, really excited about that. And I'm going to go ahead and flip over, start the recording so we can get this podcast rocking and rolling. All right. The health of your body and really quality of life stems from the health of your immune system. Most humans have either an overworked immune system or a malfunctioning immune system, which basically means to some extent or another, we are all suffering from an inadequate immune system and should seek all available options to assist in the growth, repair, and function of this vital part of our body. We will discuss its function in the body in this podcast. One specific way to help activate our immune system is something called the healing codes. This simple process is going to be of tremendous value to you in your life, and I'm looking forward to sharing it with you. Now, I will be referring to the practice called the healing codes by Alexander Lloyd and pharmacist Ben Fuchs on the immune system in this podcast. I'll be posting their websites in the description below. Since this episode, we will be talking about the immune system, I wanted to plug a product from my store called Z-Radical. Z-Radical is specifically formulated to help support your nutritional needs. At its core, it's natural fucoidan, which is extracted from 3 species of brown seaweed in the most pristine ocean waters. For hundreds of years, Eastern civilizations have used fucoidan for its protective health properties. Z-Radical combines this powerful nutrient with a great tasting blend of vitamins and botanicals to support the immune system, cardiovascular function, healthy blood glucose levels, skin tissue, and much more. When you look up this super nutrient called fucoidan in PubMed.gov, you can see hundreds of tests that have been done on numerous diseases, including diabetes and even cancer. Fucoidan is considered an anti-cancer super nutrient that is specifically designed to protect the cellular function of healthy cells. We will discuss a lot about cellular function throughout this podcast as well. But just know that Z-Radical is miraculous in its ability to regenerate the health of your cells. Now, just on a specific note with this product, Z-Radical, you can find it in my store, and I will provide a link directly to it in the description of this podcast. Now, With that being said, it is phenomenal. Again, I wouldn't promote anything that I didn't really believe in. And after listening to today's podcast about the immune system, I have this really strong inclination that all of you are going to want to improve the function of your immune system. Like I said, we should all try to function or improve the function of our immune system in any way that we possibly can. Now, here's the rest of the plug here, and then we're going to rock and roll in the podcast. So you will find a direct link to purchase Z-Radical provided in the description part of the podcast, as I mentioned. If you haven't become a member already, I will also provide a direct link for you to sign up as a member to get massive discounts and free shipping. I hope you try this product because it has changed the quality of my life and thousands of others. I truly mean that. The stories I've heard are remarkable. If you have questions about the product, feel free to message me on Instagram, Facebook, or just via text if you have my phone number. If you have neither of these methods of communication with me, email me directly at matrixbreakers@gmail.com. Now, again, this is important because, guys, I am doing this podcast and I'm not doing any sort of sponsors or ads, at least as of right now. So the way I'm funding myself is by providing you with nutritional and wellness supplements and products that are going to improve the quality of your life. And so, again, at least ask about it. That's what I will say, is just ask about it. I will give you all kinds of information if you're interested. So if you enjoy the podcast, please leave a rating and review. That's really, really important, guys, because podcasts are, sort of hit and miss. And if you enjoy this, I guarantee you will. Leave a rating, leave a review. Don't just kind of skip on. Just hit that rating, guys. It helps out so much, tremendously. And obviously, feel free to share it with your family and friends. You can direct message this out to people. You can share the Facebook link on my Facebook. You can do it, just a number of different things. But I guarantee you that based on today's podcast, it's not going to be like anything I've done in the past. This is going to be so content rich. It's going to be such a bombshell, if you will, that I really believe you're going to want to share this with people. You're going to learn something tremendous. And I'm just really excited about today. So let's rock and roll, guys. Okay. So number one, let's start with this. I've been fascinated with the human body for as long as I can remember, not to mention the purpose of life and all other curiosities of the mind. I knew that the things I started to learn early on in my life from my father were truly breaking the matrix. My dad is a successful chiropractor and uses natural methods of healing. He was the one in my early days who guided me to always taking a very holistic approach to getting better and healing my body. This has started a wild journey for me personally, and you will learn more about that throughout my podcast episodes. So just on my historical background, for those of you who don't know, I am somebody who didn't really go to the doctor that often. I probably would have been prescribed prescription meds. If I did go to the doctor, I would have probably been diagnosed with, I don't even know what, ADD or ADHD or one of those issues. But the point is that I just lived my life naturally. My father was always seeking natural remedies for anything that I've been through. I've never had a illness or disease that has been, fatal or anything like that. So I never went through the medical system. I do know that people who are born with birth defects and other issues tend to go through the medical system at an early age. My heart goes out to these people because they get inducted in a system where they are dependent on the medical establishment for their journey throughout life. And I think that it's the saddest thing in the world. And that's why I'm so passionate about health, because it means a lot to me. And it is breaking the matrix, because the medical establishment is the matrix. Okay. And we'll get more into that throughout the podcast. If you know me personally, you already know I do talks about this every single week. The medical establishment, how it was started, what happened. I'm very much into that kind of thing, history, everything. And we're going to go through some of that stuff on this podcast. So don't you worry about that. Now, as today, we're going to talk about in specific our healing system. So we'll move on to the next point. The human immune system is an amazing, complex, intricate biological framework of structures and processes that is exquisitely designed to protect the body from a wide variety of pathological agents. Now, that's a mouthful. It is composed of countless cellular and subcellular mechanisms that gives it an intelligence and flexibility that is nothing short of miraculous. Without an immune system, you would die in hours. That's why in the world of toxic pharmaceutical drugs, among the worst are drugs that suppress the immune system. The medical community loves these drugs, as many of the health challenges patients face today involve excessive immune activity, misdirected immune action, or inflammatory inflammation, let's say, which can be regarded as the obvious manifestations of the immune system. Now, folks, please understand suppression of the immune system is serious business. It's playing with biochemical fire. The immune system is nature's way of protecting the body from assault. So, knocking it out in the name of good health is flat out bad medicine. The appropriate response to an overactive immune system is not to shut it down. The correct response is to try to figure out why it's overreactive. Now, again, this is pulling from a doctor named Ben Fuchs, his website, and it's a really awesome description of the immune system and how the overactive immune system looks a lot like allergies, right? So sometimes people who are stuffy, who have headaches all the time, what that basically means is your immune system is overreactive, which is probably because you have toxins inside of your body on a consistent basis. You're not cleansing the body and you're not full of nutrients. That's another thing is your immune system is constantly being overworked. Now, again, I'm going to make this point as well, but when you have an overworked immune system, it does also mean that you are more protected. You are technically more protected. So although you have these headaches and although you have this congestion all the time, what does that really mean? Well, that actually means that your body is constantly protecting itself, right? It's on this constant, like it's living on edge all the time. Okay. So again, that's just not good. And what he mentions here is that the medical establishment is like, okay, well, you need Zyrtec or you need some of these other allergy medications so that we can reduce the immune system. And so he says, his words were, that's playing with biochemical fire, right? Because you're trying to subdue these allergic reactions you're having or the allergens, and you're also having to subdue the congestion that you're dealing with. And so what you're really doing is hurting the body's own system. Okay. Which basically means when you're not stuffy, what does that mean? Well, that means that the air and the pollen in the air, if you're allergic to it, well, it's coming right into your body. So it's only going to make you more sick. And then your body's going to continue to overreact, right? So it's really this balance, right? Of like, okay, do I take the medicine and feel okay and then get sicker? Or do I just deal with these allergies and do I just deal with the headaches and the congestion? Well, it's a really good question. What if there was a way to literally not deal with that? So again, that's something that Z-Radical can do for you. Classic Nutrition that you can also find in the online store that I provide you with. That's all stuff that is very, very, very important, along with, of course, handling your diet in a different way, more vitamin C in your diet, those kinds of things. So let's just continue reading though. So by making a few simple changes and by applying some good old-fashioned mind power, we can begin immediately to change our health for the better. It doesn't matter whether our health concern is weight loss, acne, high blood pressure, or even cancer. The body has the remarkable ability to heal itself. And make no mistake about it, the body does indeed heal itself. For example, did you know that according to scientists at Texas Tech University and Cornell University, allergy sufferers are far less likely to contract cancer than everyone else? That's because allergies activate the body's healing system and healing and defense mechanisms, which are collectively known as the immune system. And the activated immune system not only responds to allergies, but also helps fight cancers too. Again, this is just a simple point to make to you guys. If you have a healthy immune system, meaning it's not overreactive and it's not underworked, okay? You have a healthy immune system, you will not get cancer. It's impossible. Your immune system handles cancers, okay? So now when you get a cut, for example, thousands and thousands of germs and viruses get into your body. If you get a splinter, now you've got a big invader in your body. No problem. The immune system kicks in, destroys the germs and viruses, and walls off the splinter and seals the wound. If it happens to miss something, which it does occasionally, no problem. The immune system kicks in with a second phase of activity, and you may see some inflammation and pus, which is nothing more than evidence of a functioning immune system. You see, the trick to wellness is to support the immune system so our bodies don't reach the point where we need the antibiotics. You see what I'm saying? This is Ben Fuchs. Our immune system, when it's strong and vital, should be able to take care of most common bacteria and viruses. So the trick here is to commit ourselves to lifestyle choices that support our body's abilities to withstand these assaults. We should support our immune systems with our choices and habits so that they are robust and vigorous to perform their divinely mandated role of defending our cells, tissues, and organs. That way, they are able to function properly. But in order to make appropriate choices, we first have to understand what we're dealing with here. So again, another mouthful, but it's to tell you that we have to heal the immune system. We want our immune system to be completely healthy and functioning. That's the goal. We don't want to suppress the symptoms of what's going on, okay? So here's another point. The immune system, simply put, is the defense department of the body charged with protecting us from invaders, from outside and from within, or better stated, foreign or domestic, as I'd like to say constitutionally. The immune system is everywhere in the body. It's not localized to one part of the body or one organ system, but rather it is composed of billions of specialized cells that float around throughout the body, especially in the skin, nostrils, lungs, digestive tract, and the linings of our internal organs. Now, why is that? Why are they on their skin, nostrils, lungs? That's because those are the entryways of the body, right? So you would want your defense department to be on the border. You get it? So you want a border patrol, you want a wall, if you will, because you don't want just anything coming into your body. Now, some cells float around as patrolling soldiers, while others stand guard in the linings of our blood vessels and organs. Mucus plays a critical role in the functioning of the immune system by trapping and blocking the effects of dust, allergens, bacteria, viruses, and other invaders. The skin is one of the most important components of the immune system. And in a way, you could even refer to the skin itself as an immune organ. Many so-called skin diseases like psoriasis, eczema, rashes, and even many instances of acne are really nothing more than the activation of the skin's immune response. And by immune response, I simply mean a defense response, sort of like those sirens that go off when a city is being attacked by enemy bombs. Now, right there is a truth bomb in itself, because what I just told you is that because you have acne, because you have things popping up on your skin, it literally translates into a problem with your immune system. You are handling too much bacteria and viruses. You have an overflamed immune system. Those eczema and all the skin issues and rashes you're getting is the immune system. It's the reaction that the body is causing that. So it looks ugly, but that's what you're forcing your body to do. So again, we have to handle the health of our skin and the health of our immune system, right? So let's talk about that. So solutions to help boost our immune system are very simple. Firstly, exercise of any type can help boost the movement in our lymphatic system, which carries around lymph, which is similar to our circulatory system that carries around blood cells. Lymph fluids bathe all the cells with nutrients, oxygen, and sugars, which is then recirculated throughout the lymph vessel system. Now, the lymphatic system also acts as a drainage system, and cellular debris, bacteria, viruses, and other invaders are all carried away to be drained by lymph fluid. This leads to our next solution, which is appropriate supplementation. Nutrients are the life force of molecules that are necessary for cellular function. The immune system, along with the lymphatic system, deal with the distribution of these key nutrients throughout our body. I will be doing an entire podcast on this exact topic, and you will see nutrition being a natural theme throughout Matrix Breakers. Another simple solution is focusing on your digestive health. That means what you eat. As you can see, there's a lot to learn about the immune system, and this was just a simple explanation. So let's go back to the nutrition that you need. Now, we can go over vitamin A and the functions of vitamin C and some different key minerals that are very, very good for your immune system in specific. And so that's really important, guys. And again, I harp on this because it's real. You want to continue being sick. You want to continue to have allergies and have problems and have acne and all these problems. Well, then just continue living life as normal. But if you're curious about solving these issues, we just told you that simply put, you need to exercise and you need to be taking good quality nutrition. Again, we wish that kind of stuff, our nutrition was in our food, which does matter, okay? Because the foods we do eat inflame our immune system sometimes. So we have to watch what we eat. But in generally speaking, even if we ate perfectly, we're not getting the nutrients in our foods. This is a part of the matrix. We're eating almost like fake food now. So, there's a lot of studies that can back that up. And I mean, I can go on and on about that, just that alone. Now, we can move on to a very exciting way of natural healing called the healing codes. In simple terms, the healing codes are basically a form of meditation, Reiki, and prayer mixed together. Before I get into it, I want to just clarify that I'm not an expert on the healing codes, but I've been using them for the past 3 months now and have felt a tremendous healing. Now, the creator, Alexander Lloyd, wouldn't describe the healing codes as such, but I'm putting a worldly view on it so that my audience can understand what they are and how they work. Now, let me just tell you my story with the healing codes for a minute. So recently, I've been going through a breakup back a few months ago, which was totally healthy and completely necessary. So it's not a bad thing. But regardless, you do separate the identity of who you are when you tend to break up with your significant other, right? Well, that happened to me as well, just as much as it happens to anybody else. So I had a process of healing. And it was my father who together we listened to this book, The Healing Codes, on the drive back from Colorado. So I was living in Colorado, June of 2019. So I don't know when you're listening to this, but I was living in Colorado for that month and hanging out with my brother who also lives out there. And during that time, life was really good. So when my dad came to fly in to drive home with me, he wanted to buddy up and drive that long drive. But we also stopped in Lubbock and Amarillo, Texas, where we have some of my dad's family over there. So long story short, it was kind of a combination for him to come out and hang out with us and then hang out with our family there in Lubbock when we stop midway, right? And so the entire time down, we listened to this 9-hour book called The Healing Code. So I'll put a description in the link below or what am I saying? Yeah, I'll put a link in the description below for the book. So you can listen to it. I listen to it. I do like reading books. So I recommend either, whatever you prefer. But I'm going to put a link for the book in the description so you can read it yourself. But basically, guys, it is phenomenal. And I'm going to go into it. But let me just say this. I'm going to tell you what they are in a second. But what they did for me, let me just put it this way. As I was going through this life change, okay, it was, to me, it was like I got into a time machine. It's like my heart, my emotions got into a time machine and teleported like a year into the future. That's like the best way I can explain it. Because if anybody knows anything about breakups or hardships or depression, it's kind of just like, usually it's this time that you have to get in between what happened to you that makes you sad and depressed, and then where you're super happy, right? And you have your life back. The only difference between that person, I think, is time. You just need time. You need time and life experiences to remember how good life is, if that makes any sense, or to re-identify who you are, right? And so I think that what I was able to do with the healing codes for me, I was able to accelerate that healing by about a year. That's how it felt for me. That's genuinely how I feel. And so I'm telling you that that's not just my heart and with a breakup situation. I'm talking about even my prosperity. Some things that were outside of my control began to actually work for me. So again, it's very, very interesting. Now, here is a brief description of Dr. Alexander Lloyd. Okay, Dr. Lloyd, best-selling author of The Healing Code and The Love Code, helps people live their happiest, healthiest, and most successful lives through unique practices and methods that are proven to reduce stress, heal the mind and body, and remove barriers that hold people back in all areas of life. Using a combination of psychology, medical science, energy medicine, and spiritual principles, Dr. Alex has developed dozens of methods that help people heal in minutes. No matter whether your issue is physical, emotional, or spiritual, Dr. Alex's teachings and practices get to the root causes of anxiety, stress, and depression, even issues like cancer, so you can feel your best every day. So again, guys, the author is a badass. You can look him up and follow his work as well. So I will tell you that that is something that I did, and it tremendously helped me out. Okay, so let's eliminate the 95% of diseases, which is caused by stress. Okay, so that's what disease really is. It's stress and its nutritional deficiencies. Okay. The healing codes discovered by Dr. Alexander Lloyd in 2001 are a powerful self-healing method that helps your body consistently and predictably remove the primary cause of illness and disease, which is stress. Practicing the healing codes activates your body's natural healing centers in order to identify and heal negative cellular memories that shut down your immune system and keep you from optimal health. Using a combination of physical techniques and prayer meditation practices, the healing codes have helped thousands of people from all over the world correct physical, emotional, and relational and success issues. Now, again, we're going to go right back up to this description really quick and say that the immune system, so it's negative cellular memories that shut down your immune system. So how do you hurt your immune system? Well, you're hurting your immune system by stress, right? Stress, when even just stress, like, that you're going through something with the kids or family or your significant other or whatever in work, anything, stress is what slows the immune system down. You don't want to stress, guys. You want to try to live as happily as you can. So if you can find anything that relieves stress for you, that's already a natural method of healing. So it's more defensive because, again, you're just reducing the stress. And then what happens is your immune system starts to function again. Okay. That's what the healing codes do. All right. Now, let's talk about how they work. Okay. The healing codes. Well, before I get to that, hold on. I had to take a nice sip of water there. So the healing codes activate 4 healing centers in the body that function like a hidden fuse box. When the correct switches are flipped back on, the neuroimmune system is able to take over its job of healing whatever is wrong in the body. Using a combination of therapeutic techniques along with exercises using the hands and energy centers in your body, you can reprogram unhealed cellular memories and free your body to heal itself. The Healing Codes method is self-taught and self-applied, and training is offered in a variety of physical, digital, and live formats. Whether you have struggled with your health for years unable to find cures or answers, or if you are simply looking to live your healthiest life possible, discover how to heal the quote unquote issues of the heart, and in turn, strengthen your body to heal itself from almost any problem or disease. Okay, so we're going to actually talk about what are the healing codes, okay? Because this is really, really cool. I really, really love it. And I want all of you guys to completely understand how they actually work, okay? So they're basically, let me just show you, okay? For my podcast listeners, I'm going to actually be describing this as well, so bear with me. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to look at your hands, okay, and look at both hands in front of you, and then I want you to cluster all your fingers together, okay? So your thumb now is touching, just again, it's just all clustered. So your all your fingers are touching together, and you're almost making like a sock puppet, okay? Okay, now you can you can imagine the thumb is now able to sort of move as if you were a sock puppet, and it's as if you're talking with your hands, okay? So just like it looks like a little snake looking back at you. So your fingers should be pointed back at you, okay? Now I want you to bring your two hands together, okay? Bring your two hands together. Again, Alexander Lloyd would have you read the whole book to find out what this was, which I do recommend, by the way. Like, you should read the book and really learn about the healing codes if you're interested. So that's something very, very cool as well. But I want you to bring your hands together now, okay? And let's start with the first position. It said 4 centers, okay? The first position is right over what I guess New Age people would call your third eye, okay? Your pineal gland. It's in the brain. Now, what that basically means is it's right where if you got a unibrow, you know what I'm talking about, but it's where your eyebrows meet right above your nose, okay? So it's right there, okay? And you're gonna wanna touch it, but then you're gonna wanna just get like half an inch away from your head. So you're not actually touching your skin, you're actually just like right above your skin with your fingers. And right now, guys, if you're doing this, you can really feel something if you really think about it. But don't think too hard about it, okay? Because you could go into a whole practice about this. So you're going to want to do this. You're going to want to hold them there, and I'm going to show you each position, and I'm going to tell you what to say. So you're going to hold them there, okay? Now the second position is these 2 other energy centers, which are your temples, okay? You know how you hold your temples, right? You're like, have a headache, right? And you're always like rubbing your temples. Do y'all know what I mean? So it's right there where your hairline is, kind of, and you're really like, you rub those areas because you feel better, right? Okay, those are, if you learned in karate class, those are actually pressure points as well. There's a reason for that, but these are your energy centers here. So you're gonna want to take, your both hands, you want to bring your both hands apart, okay? And you're gonna want to put each hand individually over your temples, okay? So now that you're over your temples, but again, you're not touching your temples. You're about half an inch away from your temples, and you're just holding that position there, okay? So you hold that there for 2 minutes. Each position you hold for 2 minutes, okay? And then right there on your throat. So the third position here, so that counts as 3 total, right? Because or 4 total, right? Because you got the positions there and the 2 there. Now what you're doing there is you're going to bring it down, okay? You're going to bring it down to your throat, all right? So in the New Age, the chakras and all that, you're kind of understanding this is your throat chakra, okay? You're going to want to put it right over your Adam's apple. And again, you're not going to be touching the skin. You're going to be just about a half inch away. Your hands, by the way, are touching. Your pinky and ring fingers should be kind of like right up against each other. So you're bringing your hand together, your 2 hands together. And you're just, once again, you're just holding that position for 2 minutes, okay? So now you can go ahead and let go, and I'm going to explain to you what exactly you're saying to yourself, okay, during this meditation, if you will. I call it a meditation. People call it a prayer. You can say whatever it is you want. Now, again, I'm not going to perfect it. I'm just going to give you an abbreviation of what you should be saying. If you want to know the exact words and all that, stuff, you can go ahead and read the book. But in my opinion, I don't think you can mess it up, okay? So what you're doing here is when you're in this meditative state, you're going to want to be asking your body. You're asking your body, but more than anything, you're asking your heart. You're asking your heart to heal from a traumatic memory, something that you're dealing with, or a pain in your body, like a physical pain, something an emotional pain that you're dealing with right now, whatever problems that you have, whether it's lack of money, whether it's lack of intimacy with your partner, lack of love, whether it's just you're looking for sympathy, you're looking for help. I mean, whatever it is that's going on, it's part of your body. Okay. Now we're talking more esoteric here, but what you do here in this meditative state, I think personally, I mean, this is just my belief, it actually impacts the world around you. You're like tuning your frequency here. You're tuning your frequency back. So it's doing more than just a physical thing. But what's happening is now that you're thinking of this trauma that you're dealing with, you want to really think about it. Now, again, this could be something, this could be a memory. This could be something that you thought about in the past or something that occurred in the past and you haven't really gotten over it. This could be a family member. This could be something that happened to you by somebody, a broken heart. This could be a car accident. This could be a number of different things. And I know that right now, if you're listening, you kind of have an idea of what I'm talking about. So I want you to really think about that memory when you're doing the healing codes. And I want you to cry, or I want you to feel those emotions that are drawn from this trauma, okay? Whatever it might be. And what I want you to do is ask your heart for that memory, that trauma to no longer have an effect on you anymore, to completely heal from that trauma. And I want you to describe the trauma to your heart, so your heart actually understands what's going on. And then I want you at the end, whatever you share, I want you at the end to say, and I would like this healing to occur at 100 times the speed. Okay. You could say, I want it to happen at 10 times the speed, 100 times the speed, but I think the book says 10 times the speed. And so I just want you to say that at the end. Now, again, if you have multiple issues like we all do this individually for each issue and hold those positions, each position, and do the healings in each position. So talk and say the same things in each energy center so that each energy center kind of gets like an equal understanding of what you're trying to do. Okay. So that's pretty much what the healing codes are. And I'm going to give you guys almost a last but not least this description that I like to make about the healing codes in my own description, okay? So here are the 4 key points about the body that are necessary to learn when dealing with the healing codes. So number 1 is heart memories. So what we're dealing with, or what science has proven, and this is in the book as well, but they did a study with chickens in a barn, and they had these chickens running around the barn living life. And for the experiment, these chickens were supposed to live their life completely in the barn. So they've never actually been outside of that barn, just for the scientific purposes of it, because they got a projector screen and they projected what looked like a triangle shadow in the rooftop or in the ceiling of the barn. So if you can imagine a projector projecting an image onto the ceiling, and then they went and had the triangular figure go in circles around the ceiling where the chickens were just, living life freely around the barn. Now, originally, the triangle shadow had no effect at all on the chickens, okay? But then they adjusted the projector and they switched the image from a triangle into these additional features, which made it look like a hawk. Okay. So they added what looked like a beak and they added feathers, what looked like feathers as almost a shadow looking hawk, right? Now imagine the same thing now, but with these added features was projected onto the ceiling of the barn and was encircling the chickens. Okay. And what was going on was when that happened, the chickens began to run in circles. They literally were scared. They were inherently afraid of this shadow being in the air. Now, again, they were not afraid a minute ago, but now they added features that made it look like a hawk. And all of a sudden, inherently, the chickens knew to run away from the hawk. So again, chickens who have never been outside of this barn, who have never seen a hawk, they've never had a traumatic memory where they saw a chicken fellow get eaten alive by a hawk, right? So what they discovered was that in humans, we're seeing the same thing. What this basically means is that your ancestors are literally coding memories into your DNA. So you can access memories of your ancestors through your DNA. It sounds insane, but it actually, for those people who are into this kind of stuff, this is actually, to me personally, it explains a lot about people learning about past lives and connecting with their ancestors during sort of like a Native American ceremony, if you will, or an ayahuasca ceremony or something like that, where these people are undergoing hallucinogenic experiences or whatever. But the point is that people are having memories of their ancestors. They're remembering their ancestors. And what the science is proving now is that that's because memories are not just stored in your brain. When we think of memories, we think of, your conscious memory, like your long-term and short-term memories, and it's all in the brain, right? Well, your cells, which are duplicated from your DNA, okay, they are also finding that there are memories in your DNA. So there are cellular memories as well. Now, you can't access them like you would remember, what you did yesterday. It's not like that. It's a different level of embodiment, if you will. It's a different level of how they're stored in the body. Okay, in addition to cellular memories, there's also your heart memories. And the way I describe your heart memories is these are those early on memories that your conscious and your subconscious were making agreements about who you were, your identity, the world around you, and then how you fit in the world. So it's like this combination of this is who I am, this is the world, and this is how I operate in the world. Now, as many of you know, some people did not have the best childhood. So in childhood, you're almost dealing with a lot of different traumas. And what I'm saying to you right now, and what the Healing Code book will tell you as well, is that you are still living out of your heart memories. And what the Healing Code is dedicated to doing is handling your heart memories, like dealing with what's going on in your heart. Okay. So just take that in consideration, what I just said. Okay. The Healing Codes, it's free. I showed you how to do it. Or if you're listening to the podcast, I told you how to do it. And I'm telling you right now that you need to try this out. Okay. Now let's bring on to another point. So y'all remember when Beats headphones came out and there were those noise canceling headphones, and LeBron James and God knows everybody else was wearing these big bulky Beats headphones for a while? That is until AirPods came out. Now everybody's got those in their ears. You know what I mean? But here's the deal. How does noise cancellation headphones even work? Let me tell you. I don't know the science behind it all, but I can just tell you this. So the way that noise canceling headphones work is you put them on and they're battery powered, right? And then you turn on this switch, okay? And what actually happens is these noise canceling headphones, they have a microphone on the outside of the headphones, and they pick up and record all the noise that's around you. And what they do then is they invert the sound frequencies and play a noise in your ear that is the exact opposite of what's happening outside of those headphones. So therefore, it neutralizes the sound. Now, it's not telling everybody outside the headphones to be quiet, okay, right? It's not saying, okay, everyone be quiet. No. It's literally taking the noise that's constantly already happening and then it's muting it. It's neutralizing it through a scientific method. That is exactly how the Healing Codes work. They are basically, yes, your traumatic memories are still there. You are still struggling with them. They are there and they do have an effect. But what's happening is when doing the Healing Codes, you are actually able to mute or neutralize the effects, the emotional effects that those memories have on your life. How cool is that? How cool is that? So we want to mute those memories that are causing trauma, right? So again, this all goes back to the immune system, because if you can mute those traumatic memories, it's going to also slow things down in terms of stress, therefore boosting the function of your immune system. And that's what we're really talking about today. We want you to have a fully functioning immune system, right? Now, learning about this topic is truly breaking the matrix, because it deals with empowering ourselves to take advantage of our own healing system. I will discuss even more topics dealing with our healing system and overall bodily functions in future podcasts. I hope you've enjoyed everything you've heard today and share this with other people who could really use this information. You can also reach out to me if you'd like to get more specific about anything we covered in this podcast. I'm sure it will be a great conversation. If you have any specific questions, you can always reach me directly at matrixbreakers@gmail.com. If you have any additional questions, research, or information about my podcast you'd like to send to me, you can also reach me at that email. I really, truly mean it, you guys. If you have me on social media, I really want you to reach out. Like, if you're listening to this entire 38-minute whatever podcast, then it means a lot to me. It shows me that you really care, that you're really here to learn. And for those of you who are doing this, listening to this, I appreciate you. You are the reason why I do podcasts like this. You are going to always be the reason why I decide to take the time really to put together all of this information for you. So all I ask is, if you're listening this far, leave a rating, leave a review, share this with someone, because I just told you guys ways to tremendously change your life. I know, because it's changed my life, and I wouldn't bullshit with anybody. This is breaking the matrix. We are dealing with, self-empowerment, and that's what I want for everybody. So again, thank you for tuning in. You guys are absolutely awesome. I'll see you guys on the next podcast. Peace. All right, Facebook, wrapping it up. Thank you for tuning in. There's no way somebody watched this entire thing. If you did, you're a true hero. And if you can share this, I would absolutely appreciate it. That as well on YouTube. So Facebook, see you later. Peace. And YouTube, lastly, so if you're watching this on YouTube, I absolutely appreciate you guys. You guys are the real heroes, going through the whole 9 yards with me. Thank you for everything, and share this with your family and friends as well. Thanks, guys. Peace.